closer immune to your charms.
You're lying. I never hit you.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Killer Klowns, go.
I don't even know what to say. You threw me off too much. Killer Klowns
I
from
know.
outer space.
Normally we ease into things, but I just figured 3, 2, 1, go.
Ah! Okay. I did take notes on this movie.
I know.
I've never done that before, so
I'm curious to see
new
what you have to say.
experience. This movie's so much fun. So much fun. But I am very curious if they went into this knowing they were going to make a bad movie, because I don't think they intended to make a bad film.
No, I think they intended to make a fun, quirky kind of horror comedy. So I almost feel like this movie doesn't deserve to be on our list.
No, but it does. I mean, even if they were going for like a quirky 80s horror comedy deal, they still missed the mark.
I forgot about the clown girls. That was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could have done a better job.
But yet at the same time, I love this movie.
I love this movie.
So much. It's like everything that I want in a horror comedy.
Oh, yeah. The music.
It is my favorite thing in movies. Songs that have the name of the movie in them.
That's the only thing that Chopping Mall was missing.
Chopping Mall. You know what? I'm gonna write that song.
You should write that song.
Chopping Mall. Killbots,
Oh,
killbots, killbots.
see,
killbots,
Terror Vision
killbots.
had that.
Yeah, Terror Vision.
Terror Vision. Terror Vision.
Killer Clown. This song has like a
Love
double
Terror
whammy
Vision.
though, because not only do they say Killer Clowns in the song, but they do like the circus music in it too.
That's true.
I hope that people love tuning into this podcast.
Or
to
just
hear us
listening
sing
to us
the theme
sing.
song.
This podcast is actually called Kaitlyn and Nigel Sing songs that they enjoy.
Yeah. I was looking at the lyrics from the Killer Clowns from Outer Space song, which
Yeah.
is performed by the band The Dickies, that I've never heard of before.
Nope.
And I found some lines that were quite fitting, I thought, for today's day and age.
Okay, let's
They
hear.
say, "Oh, look around, what do you see? Tell me what's become of humanity. From California shores to New York Times Square, Barnum and Bailey everywhere." Just like what's happening in Washington. Boom. First and
Relevant.
only political joke of 2019. Ooh.
Aha.
2020.
It's 2020. Did you write 2019 on all your work papers?
I have not had any work papers yet.
Well, don't do it.
I will not.
Like me, an idiot.
So, one thing that I
Yeah.
thought was very interesting. Here's a perfect segue. This song, or another movie that we talked about recently, that has a theme song that says the name of the movie in the song, New Year's Evil. Guess who was in this movie and in New Year's Evil?
Who?
The main character, Mike Tobacco, played by Grant Cramer, played Derek in New Year's Evil.
Her assistant?
Her son.
Her son?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Wait.
That was his
Mike?
first acting role.
Mike in Killer Klowns played her son in New Year's Evil.
Yep.
Let me see a picture.
I'm trying to pull one up.
The one that put the pantyhose on his face?
There he is.
Mike was the brown-haired one, right?
Yeah, the main guy.
Okay, that's weird.
Right?
That's so weird.
I don't know
found
how I
his
didn't recognize
acting
him
niche.
until
No,
now.
I don't know how I didn't either. He's like the same age.
Okay, so let's see. Killer Klowns was 88. Oh, and New Year's Evil was 1980, so it was 8 years later.
Oh, wow.
So
He
there you
doesn't
go.
look that much older, though.
No, I mean, like, he does, but, like, he doesn't.
Mm-mm.
But we also were trying to figure out how old he could have been in New Year's Evil, because he was trying to figure out, like, was he a college kid? Should he be living on his own?
That was very ambiguous.
It was. Why is he so obsessed with what his mom thinks of him? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Well,
know
that's
what?
a fun little connection.
It is a fun little connection. And there are more connections.
What?
And we'll get there in a second, because I should probably introduce the show first.
Oh, man.
Welcome to Bad Movie Date Night, the only and best podcast with a husband and wife talking about movies with you, the audience. You guys just can't say anything, but we can. This week we're talking about Killer Klowns from Outer Space from 1988, directed by Stephen Chiodo, written by Charles, Stephen, and Edward Chiodo. And that's pretty much it.
What else did they write?
Nothing. This is basically, I mean, they did small writing jobs here and there, but this is pretty much the only thing that they've written and directed. Because so there's this thing in Hollywood where these crew members are really good at what they do, and they get notoriety, and then they say, you know what, I could direct a movie. And then sometimes we get something as beautiful as Killer Klowns from Outer Space. And sometimes we get John Wick. And sometimes we get Transcendence.
John Wick. That's a good one.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
But basically the stunt guy was like, I could direct a movie, and he did.
Nuh-uh.
I don't know if that's exactly how it happened, but it was like his first time directing.
And he used to be a stuntman.
Yeah.
Good for
What do you
him.
think the stunts in John Wick are so great?
I know, but the filming for them is also really phenomenal. And I
Yeah.
just wonder if that was more of the cameraman, or if the stunt coordinator kind of worked with him on how to get the best shots for that.
Movies are kind of a collaborative effort, so
They can be,
this is true.
if you're not Warner Brothers.
Or Marvel.
Hashtag relevant.
/ Disney.
Hashtag canceled.
Yeah, so speaking of canceled, let's just, you know what? I'm going to air some grievances real quick.
Okay.
So, Killer Klowns from Outer Space came out in 1988. It is actually a marginally successful cult film.
Not surprising.
No, not even in the slightest. In fact, I think I saw somewhere that it has a really high score on Rotten Tomatoes, which is also kind of crazy. But anyways,
People don't know how to score things.
well, Rotten Tomatoes is broken. Hashtag relevant. Hashtag opinionated. Insert. Yeah, it's got 77% on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
Okay.
Right? It's probably the highest rated movie that we've talked about on this show. So, for years, they have been trying to make a sequel to Killer Klowns from Outer Space. Literally since, 1991.
All right. Well, why haven't they?
Well, I don't really know.
Oh, okay.
But they had all these plans put together. Different studios have owned the rights over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Up until recently. Do you know who was working on the sequel for it?
Warner Brothers.
No. 21st Century Fox.
Fox.
Who is now owned by Disney.
Oh, boy.
And word on the street is Disney killed the sequel after the acquisition of Fox, just like they did several hundred other projects that Fox had in development.
Nice. Way to go, Disney. Way to go.
So, if you wanted another reason to hate Disney as much as I do, then here it is.
Man, they could have had such a great opportunity. Although I am a little tired of sequels.
I am too, but this one would have been great.
Yeah, I would have watched this.
Mike was supposed to be the town drunk.
What? Really?
That nobody believed that like killer clowns existed.
So he didn't
And
end up with a girl?
It doesn't sound like it. Or, it's the tale as old as time. Boy gets girl, guy can't stop reliving his glory days, so she leaves him or something like that. I don't know.
Or she just ended up with the other guy.
Yeah, or she could have gone off with him, Dave. But he then has to team up with a group of street performers.
Okay.
Who have to fight the killer clowns when they return.
Okay.
And it was going to be titled The Return of the Killer Clowns from Outer Space in 3D.
In 3D? We could have had this movie in 3D?
Could you imagine all those noses popping all over the place?
Gosh. What a waste, Disney. A 3D film about killer clowns? Sign me up. I'd watch that.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So that's,
What a...
Let's
make it ourselves.
We should, except I don't think that we could make the effects as good as the people in the movie.
Let's find a friend who does effects. Brielle.
That'll all be graphic design.
Yeah. She could do it. I have faith in her.
She probably knows somebody.
So let's just make it happen.
If anybody wants to make a Killer Clowns from Outer Space fan sequel...
I bet you and Clayton could do it.
Yeah.
Could figure it out.
I've been trying to convince
Or just
him,
a music video about killer clowns.
featuring 0 killer clowns.
Yes.
And we use C, killer clowns, with a C, to avoid copyright infringement.
Yes. I think that's a great idea.
I think it's a fantastic idea. I've been trying to convince him to write a concept album for his next album.
I know, that'd be cool.
Killer Clowns. Or on his
Killer
next holiday.
Ooh.
Halloween album.
Yeah, Halloween album. That'd be good.
If you want to hear Clayton Johnson, a.k.a. Paper Compass, write a song about Killer Clowns from Outer Space for his upcoming 2020 Halloween EP, send him an Instagram thing.
Okay, I will.
We'll tag him in our Instagram post.
Okay.
And he'll be like,
Super
why?
confused.
Yeah. So, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I love
Where
this movie.
to start?
Yeah, where do we start with this?
Probably at the beginning.
Probably at the beginning.
Which, let me tell you about the beginning. I have a question about this.
I also have a question, but it's just more of a general question about this movie.
Okay.
But you can go first.
We open up at a makeout location where all of these couples are in cars making out.
Right.
All right, here's my question. Back in the day, was it popular to have makeout spots? Also, did makeout spots ever really exist?
Here is what I'm going to say to that.
Okay.
I'm going to say yes.
Back in the day, or like, do they exist now?
I think they exist now. They're called movie theaters.
Okay.
But
like, I'm talking about like where all these cars just like go and drive up to like the top of a mountain.
Oh, I mean, like in that sense, probs not. But I think they did exist back pre-internet.
Okay.
You got to think the world was a different place before. The internet.
Know. I like the internet. Oh no, I sound crazy. I'm gonna sound crazy. I like the internet, but I don't really like that we're connected to it all the time. We are so boring now that we can just like look up something on our phone and keep us entertained via our phone. Now, nobody punches people when they see slug bugs, and nobody does anything, and then all these people are on their phones instead of making out. I'm just saying, they're missing life.
I have 0 words right now. But without the internet, how would we have wonderful things like Netflix?
I didn't say like I don't want the internet. I just don't want to be connected to it all the time.
Oh, well then turn your phone off.
I do quite frequently.
Okay.
Everyone should.
That's all I got to say then.
All right, so that's all I really had about the first question.
But yeah, I totally think that they were a thing.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, that's all I got to say in regards to your question.
I don't know where. I guess what happens next is that ice cream truck pulls up.
I don't know if the ice cream truck pulls up or if they see the giant beam of light
they see
rocket
that.
across the sky.
They see that after, because then they go look for it right away.
I thought...
Because first the ice cream truck pulls up, because then he meets his friends. He says like, oh, haha, Jerry and Larry, they're so funny, my friends.
You mean...
I don't know
Rich
their names.
and Paul?
Yeah.
It's the Terenzi brothers!
Terenzi brothers, who work in an ice cream truck.
Because they thought it would be a good way to pick up women. Because women like ice cream.
But then they have these 2 girls in the ice cream truck, and they like fat shame them. You can't get away with that nowadays.
No, there's a lot of things in this movie you can't get away with.
No. So we're introduced to the Terenzi brothers.
They're very important later. The Terenzi brothers were played by Michael S. Seigel and Peter Licassi, and they were a comedy duo in Los Angeles at the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Any relation to Jason Segel?
Spelled differently.
Oh, okay. All right, so...
Then what? Well, so the thing shoots overhead. Mm-hmm. Cut to Farmer What's-His-Face. This guy, Farmer Green, he says, oh, what's that green thing flying overhead? And he pulls out a newspaper and he says, it must be Haley's Comet.
Was it a newspaper? I thought it was a comic.
I don't know what it was, but he was honestly like, okay. So for the most, like, this movie had a lot of caricatures in it, of characters, but I feel like his was the worst, this farmer.
Yeah.
He was like the most stereotypical backwoods, like, I live in a cabin and bear understand saying we're gonna go strike it rich.
Yep.
Spaghetti dog, or what was his dog's name? Pooh Bear. Oh, Pooh Bear. Expect a little bloodhound. He's like, oh, we're gonna go get it, and then he's like, oh, hell, the circus is in town. Maybe we can get some free passes.
Yeah, no, when he goes to look for, like, the thing he thinks is Haley's Comet, he comes up to this circus tent that is very clearly not a circus tent.
It's, like, glowing.
But it doesn't matter. Because he says my favorite line, which I'm going to adopt. Anytime I'm surprised by something, I'm going to say, I'll be greased and fried. What does that even mean? I think he was saying it out of, like, shock. But he literally just says, I'll be greased and fried. What? That is so stereotypical. Yep.
I want to know where the city is in the United States that they have, like, a small town college and a farmer
Were they
individual.
supposed to be in college?
Yeah, because that's why the police officer guy hates everybody. He's like, oh, those dang meddling kids ruining our small town with their college life, and
Oh.
Mooney,
This is like when Liberty first started.
basically.
How all the Virginians felt.
Curtis Mooney. So yeah, they so Mike, Grant Cramer, and Debbie, Suzette Snyder, who was in Weird Science and an episode or 2 of Seinfeld and an episode or 2 of that show with Michael J. Fox.
That's good to know that she went places. Family ties.
Yeah, but she was also in The Facts of Life.
How many episodes, though?
Like 2.
Oh.
Like, not a whole lot. But
No,
like
but
some.
she had guest star roles.
Yeah. So they're like, oh, let's go check this out. And they find a circus tent. And they go inside. Oh, you know what? We should probably mention the fact that the farmer's dog gets taken by one of the clowns, the comically large net. And then he tries to punch his way into the tent and realizes that it's made of metal. But instead of saying, hey, that's weird, maybe I should not try to break into this tent and go get the police, he proceeded to try to rip the power cables out of the ground and electrocute himself to death.
But to be fair, they did have his dog.
To be fair, correct. But he didn't even, like, try to look for an opening in any other part of the tent.
He was like, I can't move from this one spot. That was crazy. Yeah.
He was crazy. Mike and Deb, they find the tent. And they say, we should go in and check this out. Mm-hmm. It looks like the circus. And then they go inside and they say, oh, this is a weird spaceship thing. I bet it's like a nuclear power plant or a cotton candy factory.
It's either a nuclear power plant or a cotton candy factory. Those are the only logical options.
It's the only 2 options that you really have for a building such as this. Because, like, they go in one room, and it's this giant Star Wars-esque layer with, like, balls of energy.
Yeah, but what nuclear power plant looks like a circus tent on the outside? Did they forget?
Look, this is the 80s. They were a much simpler time.
So they had their nuclear power plants look like circus tents?
I mean, why not?
Okay. No.
But then they go into a different room, and they see the cotton candy hanging up. And they're like, this is where they put the cotton candy out to dry. And Debbie's like, I don't think it works that way. And Mike's like, yeah, I think it is. How many cotton candy factories have you been in, Deb?
Oh.
I think it's... Okay, so I think now is a good time to ask my question. And I know that they, like, barely mention this in the movie. I was kind of surprised because I had forgotten about it. But what do you think came first? Actual clowns or these alien things? Like, why are the killer clowns in the way that they are based so much off of circus things? Like, why wrap people up in cotton candy? Why use a balloon to hunt people down and, like, popcorn guns? Why does your spaceship have a series of doors that get smaller and smaller when the clowns are so big? Why do you have clown cars? Why is your weakness your big red nose that gets popped? Why do you try to kill things with giant mallets? These are the questions
You're asking
to be asked.
too many questions. That, like, no, you can't ask those questions.
Why would you kill a bunch of people with a shadow puppet?
No, you're asking way too many questions. If you are trying to apply logic to this movie, you will be sorry, my friend. There is no logic. These aliens are wild. And they have no sense to them. There is no logic.
They don't.
No.
Why?
How can he kill them with a shadow? But then they can't do that again? He could just literally eat the whole world with his shadow.
He could literally pick up the whole town with his shadow.
Yeah.
Why does the popcorn turn into clown worms? Is that where clown babies come from? Why are there clown women that are kept on the ship? And what do they do all day?
Again, you're asking questions that You can't ask.
What do you think would happen
If we started asking
if the killer
questions?
clowns met a real clown? Because
Are all clowns aliens that could potentially be killer clowns?
are they sleeper agents?
Right. Are they sleeper agents? Could the killer clowns be the bad clowns and there's good clowns out there?
Are we just bystanders in a casual war between clowns and killer clowns? These are the questions that this movie does not answer.
No. I want a prequel to this movie now.
Where the killer clowns came from.
Right. Where are they going?
Why did they model their spaceship after a circus tent?
They're clowns, so.
Right, but more importantly, what came first? The killer clowns or the regular clowns? Did, like, some group of aliens come across some, like, video footage of Bozo the Clown and think, I should model my entire species after this? Is this like a Galaxy Quest situation?
Is there a world of clowns?
There has to be a world of clowns if there's a spaceship of clowns. These are the answers of the questions that we need in this movie.
Yeah. I didn't think of any of those.
I've seen this movie way too many times.
I guess I just like accepted the reality I was thrown into without much thought. I don't think that's really good though.
Why? Why are they the way that they are?
Who are these clowns? Where did they come from? Where are they going?
We should go to... You know what we need? Okay. Forget the Independence Day sequel.
Uh-huh.
We need a Killer Clowns movie.
I know.
We need to go to the Clowns planet.
Right.
Just give me an hour and a half of seeing what a day-to-day life is like in a killer clown.
Why do they kill people? What do they do with them? I mean, I know they put them in the cocoons, but...
Cocoons.
The cocoons. But, like, yeah, so they just eat them, so they come to Earth for, like, fuel. But then, like, that seems like a bad, like, plan.
They also... Okay, here's the other thing, too. They go to the spaceship to stop the killer clowns, but they seem to have zero desire to save any of the people who were kidnapped by the killer clowns. In fact, I think the only thing that they do is they call the police, realize that Deb's been taken, and then go to rescue her with zero plan of what to do with the clowns after that.
But there's also 2 cops in this whole town.
Right. Mooney and Dave. And Mooney is worthless.
Yes, he's so mean.
Yeah.
You can't do that now. Well,
Oh,
people
yeah.
sometimes
He
do
would...
that now as a cop, but you shouldn't.
Yeah, if you're like that, you should be fired.
Yeah.
He
was
got what he
aggressive.
deserved.
Yeah.
Turned into a ventriloquist dummy.
Yeah.
That was actually, like, the one part of this movie that's kind of scary.
The one part, there's lots of parts. I
can't
don't like
take
the
you
part where
seriously.
she's in the shower.
In The Aliens Come?
Yeah. With the popcorn?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't like that.
Yeah, those are kind of creepy.
Yeah. They are.
But, like, not that creepy.
Okay, well, they are. So, they're at the circus tent, and they go straight to the police station because she says, I have a friend that'll help us out.
Yeah. Dave. Turns out he is not just a friend. He's an ex-boyfriend. Woo, 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 woo. That wasn't the right sound. Dun, dun, dun.
There you go.
Dave's like, yo, you crazy. They drop Deb off at home because she is going to take a shower and chill.
Makes no sense.
I don't know why they needed to get rid of her for so much of this movie.
No.
Because literally in the time that it takes everybody else to do anything,
she was showering.
Took the longest shower in the world.
Well, she was just attacked by killer clowns. She probably needs a long shower after that.
You mean she ran away from killer clowns?
Yeah, but they threw popcorn at her.
Oh, gross.
She doesn't
So
know what's on the
disgusting.
alien popcorn?
They didn't seem to think twice about it when
I
she just threw it in her
know.
laundry
But
basket.
did you notice how there was no popcorn and then popcorn and then no popcorn
Yeah.
and then popcorn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how in any scene where they showed the popcorn flying, you could tell that they were like shooting it from a cannon
Yeah.
off screen. Because the way it like spread outward. It was great.
So believable.
It was probably the most realistic effect in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, what Deb and Mike don't know is that they basically led the clowns
To the whole city.
Yeah. Because the clowns were like, hey, Fido, aka Balloon Dog, chase after those people. And then they went to town and just kind of wreaked havoc.
They killed all the people at Makeout Mountain, didn't they?
Yeah, which, okay, when did they have time to do that?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe there's more clowns than we got to see in this film.
Well, we know that there are... Okay, so, like, there's, like, the core group of clowns that go into town.
Mm-hmm.
And then, when they're picking up all the bodies that they collected, there are other clowns there.
Right.
That only show up for, like, that one scene.
So maybe they were the ones killing the people?
It's possible, but we should have seen them, like...
No.
I don't know why you would introduce other clowns so late in the movie.
They weren't important.
But they were, because then they chase people and they kill people and they load up their cotton candy cocoons bodies in their little Dr. Seuss mobile. So then Mike and Dave, they go back to where the clowns are, and the tent is gone.
Gone.
Whoa.
Which, how did they move the tent there? So they moved the tent there by the Halley's Comet, like, falling star.
Yeah, no one thinks twice about something falling out of the sky.
Right, but then how did they move it again without it being noticed?
Killer clown magic.
They just wished it somewhere else?
I don't know. I have zero explanations.
Well, Nigel, I come to you with all these questions. I expect you to have answers.
I can't answer questions that don't have answers.
I mean, you could imply. If you had to imply what the movie was saying.
Maybe by the time that they moved the tent, everyone was in their cocoons.
The whole town?
Yeah.
The whole world? Because is this the only town that saw the falling star?
That's a great question. Second question, would they have stopped with this town? Again, what was their end goal? What were they trying to achieve? Because we never know.
No. I like the scenes, though, where they have, like, the chase music, where they're just going all around town, like, putting people in cocoons.
Yeah.
And my two favorites are when this lady orders pizza. I guess she orders pizza. I don't really know. But she goes to the door and she goes, oh, it's just the pizza guy. But there's like 3 clowns.
Yeah, why
holding
would you,
pizza.
Why you should be concerned if a clown
Right.
delivers your pizza?
I would not open the door if a clown was holding my pizza.
Exactly.
I'd be like, I'm dead now. She wasn't concerned until a clown popped out of the pizza box.
Yeah, which
No.
is again, why do these clowns choose these silly antics
Right.
to kill the clowns?
They
and
could have
or
just
the people
knocked
in
on
which
her
they do?
door.
Bingo.
And then they knock on another lady's door and is holding a box of chocolates. And she goes, oh, honey, did you do this for me? If your husband says something like that up, he does not love you.
He
wants to kill
die.
you. Yes. So that was concerning. That
It was.
relationship is not in a good place if she thinks her husband would do that for her. So that
Actually, you know what else was kind of a creepy moment?
what?
When the clown tries to lure the little
The
girl
child?
outside of
That-
the burger restaurant.
Yes. Yes, that
That
was...
was no good.
Yeah, there's this little girl sitting at a table eating dinner with her mother.
Being very misbehaving.
Yeah, and the clown is like waving his pointer finger at her to come hither.
The thing that made it kind of creepy, though, is so this giant clown is sitting on this tiny little, like, one of those playground things where the animal kind of rocks back and forth.
Yeah.
But he's moving, but the animal he's on is not moving.
It was very creepy.
It was very disturbing.
And she almost goes with him, but then thankfully her mom starts paying attention to her and says, "Where are you going? You're not leaving until you eat your food."
That, and the mom doesn't notice the giant clown sitting outside.
No!
How is this little girl the only person that sees this clown?
Maybe they only appear to people they want to appear to.
That's probably not true.
What about those clown footprints all over the police room?
I've been thinking about that the whole time, and honestly, I have no explanation.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
I don't think that the clown ran around on the walls and the ceiling.
That would be silly. But why were they different colors? There's like red, black, yellow.
Because he was just trying to mess with people.
So he put different colored shoes on? Yeah. I guess you're supposed to think they should. I don't know what that is.
I don't know what you're supposed to think.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that. Now I just have too many questions.
Yeah. So let's cut back to Mooney for a second. So Dave is off with Mike looking for the killer clowns. Mooney's back at the police station drinking it up, and he keeps getting calls of people talking about killer clowns. And he's like, a bunch of kids. They're just pulling prank phone calls. They wouldn't do that if I was in charge. And then, like, an old guy from the town's like, hey, I got this clown here. And he's like, oh, not you too. The whole town's in on it.
Yeah, because there's that clown at the drugstore, and he's, like, getting food, and he's just knocking everything off the shelves.
Well, the clown was, like, wanted to buy everything in the store.
I know! Like, oh, don't worry, I'll pay for this. I'll also put you in one of my cocoons, but I'll still pay for this.
He still took all the stuff up to the register first.
Yeah.
Honestly, if he was going to pay for it, like, just let him go, man.
Right.
Don't call the police. He's just a patron.
That's
shopping.
But he was knocking stuff all over the place.
Well, yeah, but he picked them up to buy them.
Everything on the floor?
Did you see that mountain of stuff that he took to the front?
Yeah.
It was probably everything in the store.
That's a good point.
Killer clowns.
So then, do they eat people then if they're buying food?
No, he was buying, like, drugstore products.
No.
Like shampoo and... I don't know. Maybe they like snack foods. They're clowns. They base their entire living off of what a circus is, so...
Yeah, but they eat people?
And snack food.
Okay.
I don't know.
Wow.
Maybe their ship is powered by cotton candy.
People cotton candy. Maybe that's why they ran out of gas. They got stuck there. They had to gather all the people to get more gas.
Yeah, now you're just putting too much thought into it.
No, I'm putting the right amount of implyingness into it.
So, Dave thinks that Mike is pulling his leg. Says, you're under arrest. Which, according to my sister, you can't just do that. So she's going to be
probably right.
A lot of fun to watch movies with now. As we get ready to do more episodes of this podcast with her. They're driving back by Makeout Point. All the cars are destroyed.
Yeah.
How did that happen? I don't know. Because despite these clowns kidnapping everyone, they also don't seem very destructive.
No.
But apparently these cars really pissed them off. Remember when they drove that guy off that bridge?
Yeah.
The clown's just like driving his invisible car, and then he drives off the bridge.
Yeah.
That was weird.
Those are the kills I don't understand. Like, what did he do with that body? Why did he drive them off a road? And then why was the people who were killed with a hand puppet?
Oh, I forgot about that one.
What
To be
happened
fair,
to them?
How much actual killing did we see the clowns do in this movie?
I mean, they ate the people with the shadow puppet.
Okay. And then Mooney, obviously.
Yeah, Mooney.
And the guy they drove off the bridge. So it's like what?
And
like 8 people?
Who was... We do see one guy in a cocoon.
Right. I'm not counting the cocoons because we don't know if that kills him.
Well, that
I
guy
guess-
looked very dead.
I guess, like, the whole town does end up exploding in the end. So, was that their plan the whole time?
Just put him in here and we'll
It
make
will
him
explode.
Maybe.
I don't know. Mike and Dave, they find a car covered in cotton candy. And Mike's like, that's so-and-so. He was in the car. He was yelling at everybody.
They're very racist Italians.
He's
Not
got
racist.
he's
Very
got like a
typical.
New York accent, but like kind of like a cracking voice when he does it. I don't know. It's very confused.
They weren't great actors. Those two.
No. Mike and Dave?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
You're talking about the Terenzi brothers?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. They weren't great either. But I'm talking about
I guess no one was really that good.
Mike's accent that he had.
Oh, yeah.
He was like the New York
Yeah.
Seinfeld, which I know is kind of an oxymoron, but you'll know what I'm talking about. One of the clowns shows up at the police station, and Mooney tries to arrest him, and the clown removes his hands, and then kills Mooney with a party favor that chokes him to death.
Yeah, that was scary.
It reminded me of Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
When he's got those like little inflatable mallet things. And then the clown just kind of sits there and waits to mess with Dave when he gets back by turning Mooney into a dummy.
Yeah.
Which seemed kind of pointless.
Well, those clowns are very... I guess they have a lot of time on their hands. But this all took place in, 2 hours?
I don't know. This was probably like the slowest invasion.
Yeah, it was not very fast.
But yet somehow
didn't
they
even
gathered
call
up
them
a
military.
majority of the town. Well, they called that other police station like a town over. Oh, because remember originally they wanted them to check out what the cotton candy material was so that they could free the people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But then it only became about rescuing Deb and blowing up the spaceship.
Yeah, they got very sidetracked.
And that was the end of the movie.
Yeah. It abruptly ends.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what Deb was wearing.
An outfit my mom had in the 80s.
No, the one where she's wearing leg warmers.
Oh, you just want to talk about leg warmers.
I just want to talk about leg warmers. We should bring leg warmers back. My legs would be so toasty if
You should
we
just
could
start
bring
wearing leg
them back.
warmers.
I remember when I worked
Be
at
your own woman,
Claire's
Kaitlyn.
a while ago, a long time ago, and we used to sell leg warmers.
Yeah, back in the day.
Back in the day, Claire's had leg warmers. You can't get them there anymore, but I wish you could. And I would buy them, and I would wear them, and my legs would be warm, and all of you would be laughing, but I would have warm legs. So, PSA, make leg warmers fashionable again. Were they ever fashionable?
They kept your legs warm.
They kept your legs warm.
Per the name, leg warmers.
All right. That's my leg warmers rant.
Yeah,
I just really want to bring them back.
that was a valuable contribution to...
Hey! Hey! I just want leg warmers back. All right. You got to talk about the end of the movie.
Well, we have to talk about how they run into the Terenzi brothers,
Right.
and Mike and the Terenzi brothers go off to warn people about the town, or the clowns. And then Deb gets attacked by clowns.
In her bathroom.
Yeah, first by alien worm clowns, which might be baby clowns. We don't know. The clowns show up at her house, put her inside of a balloon. Now, here's a question. You are putting everybody in the entire town inside a cocoon. Mm-hmm. Why did you put Debbie in a balloon?
There was other balloons in the circus tent. But
Correct.
we didn't ever see them use it before.
Right, and they didn't seem to have other people in them because they only popped the one that Deb was in.
Right. I also like when they're in the circus tent trying to rescue Deb, and he pops the balloon that Deb's in, and Deb runs out, and he goes, "All right, Deb, go. I have to stay here. There might be more people in here, and I gotta save them." And like as he's saying that, he's proceeding to run into the elevator with them to leave, and I was like, "So you're not gonna rescue all the other people?"
The other people aren't as important as Deb is.
They can repopulate the Earth now. That's all I needed was Deb.
Yeah. So we mentioned that the tent moves. It moves to an amusement park, which is where it probably should have landed in the beginning.
Right. Not in the middle of nowhere.
The clowns, they could have done so little work.
Right.
Just let the people come to you.
Right.
If you land in the middle of an amusement park.
Right.
Maybe have a little, like an ounce of patience.
Right.
But you could, eventually the whole town be gone.
Right.
And when people figure it out.
It's too late by then.
Right? The spaceship we find out is more of a fun house. I mentioned the doors. You know what? They do eat the people. Because remember that one clown walks in the cotton candy room and he sticks the straw in there and he like
starts. Yeah.
So apparently they are liquidarians. I feel like there's a name for people who just have a liquid diet.
Probably. I feel like it'd be better used as gas. Like if they needed the people to fuel their tent. But,
that could, that would, sure. The Terenzi brothers run into some female clowns, and you think, they're all over with. Until the very end when they drive their truck in to save the day, and they're covered with kisses.
Yeah.
Question mark?
Bite marks?
I don't know what those two did. But I don't want to know either.
No.
They pretend to be the giant clown on top of their ice cream truck.
Yeah.
Which the clowns seem to buy. So that's why I'm wondering, how would they react to a real clown on our planet?
Right.
Would they worship him as a god?
That's what they kind of started doing with this one. Then I was really confused when the other clown comes out that's all attached to the strings.
Clownzilla.
Why?
I don't know.
Was he the leader?
Maybe.
They all seemed very frightened by him.
They ran off.
Right.
I don't know.
That was weird.
It was weird. But I just had an idea for a better story, and I have to share it with you right now.
Please.
What if... Okay, sequel idea.
Okay.
Mike grows up. Mm-hmm. He and Deb married.
Okay.
He is traumatized by the events of this movie.
Right.
And for some reason, he can't ever look at a regular clown. So Deb's like, you have to go to counseling or I'm going to leave you. I'm going to take the kids. I'm going to go to my mother's house.
Okay.
So he goes to his counselor, and the counselor's like, you know what? Why don't you try being a clown? We'll do some exposure therapy or whatever it's called. And he's like, all right. So he gets a job as a street performer, as a clown. Then the movie basically becomes clowns versus killer clowns. It's Mike and a team of clowns dressed as clowns fighting the killer clowns.
That would be insane.
Would they stop and think about what they were doing, the killer clowns, or would they be successful? Would this answer the question of who came first, the killer clowns or the regular clowns?
It probably would.
I feel we'd
We
have
could
to.
do a whole backstory on that.
You find out that the killer clowns are, in fact, ancient aliens. And that's where our idea of clowns came from. And they say, no more. This is our planet.
I got a good idea for a movie.
Okay.
So what if... what was that one movie where
off to a good
the
start.
guy starts turning into a clown? Physically? Clown? Okay, that's what I thought. So it's kind of like that. So it's actually going to be a really scary movie. So basically I'd remake this whole movie and I'd kind of steal the premise of that movie. But it's fine because it'll be a little different.
Keep going.
No, you go. Your face got all excited.
No, because I feel like you're about to say what I was just thinking.
Well, now I feel like it's not going to live up to the hype, though. But I feel like the clown should, so there should be not that many clowns. It's just a couple. And then, maybe there's, they spread a disease somehow or they bite other people.
Or they put people into cocoons that turn them into clowns.
But I want it to be a real slow, painful process, like the movie Clown.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I got nothing then.
And it turns all these people into clowns. And it's basically like a zombie apocalypse, but with clowns. And the whole world starts slowly turning into clowns.
That's a great idea.
I think it's a great idea. That'd be a good movie.
I think
You could get Tom Hardy to be in that because it'd be real scary. He'd be a scary clown.
You know what I would want? I would want a cameo
Jake
from
Gyllenhaal?
every actor that's ever played a clown.
Yeah. Could you imagine Jake Gyllenhaal as a clown? He'd be
would be
terrifying. Yeah.
Especially his Nightcrawler phase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got Jake Gyllenhaal in there. You got Tom Hardy. You got Isla Fisher. I think she'd be a scary clown.
She would be a scary clown. You know who I'd want the clown leader
Natalie
to be?
Portman. Huh.
John Hamm.
John Hamm in there.
And then Zach Galifianakis.
But we need a master clown.
Yeah, John Hamm.
John Hamm is the master clown.
Yeah.
I could see it.
He comes in, he's all grizzled, he's smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, I like it. What would the point of these clowns be?
Of the clowns?
Yeah. What do they want?
They want more clowns.
They just want more, but why?
They just do. They don't want anything.
It's just in their blood to turn people into clowns.
It's like wasps or ants. They got the leader and then they just keep doing what they do.
I like it. And then we could have a whole clown underworld going on. And we see John Hamm and he's got the life. The life, I mean, not that great, but it's better than everybody else's. And the underworld is all of these clowns trying to clowns start fighting each other because it's a fight club inside the clowns, and it's just it's gonna be crazy.
I was on board with your movie, and then I don't know somewhere you took a turn and I missed that turn.
I just think it would be fun if you just had clowns fighting clowns. I just want to throw that in there somehow.
Yeah. So you have regular clowns versus killer clowns.
No, I just want all of them to be killer clowns, but they start fighting each other for some reason. Maybe some of the clowns start saying I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to hunt people. I just want to be left alone. They start realizing that they're funny, that they could just make this into a job, and the other clowns are no, this is our life. We gotta.
Is this a Herbie the Dentist situation? Where one of the clowns is I don't want to kill people. Well, what do you want to do? Or what does that one guy sound like? Don't want to make toys.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
I think it's a great idea.
I want to be a street performer.
Or they could be just a group of clowns. Oh, stop. Great idea coming. It's coming too fast. Okay. we have John Hamm still. He's the head clown. But really it's a gang, a group of these guys that just go up and stir up trouble in the city.
This is your trolls prank situation again?
No, they kill people and stuff like that. They're like mobsters.
By putting a picture frame slightly to the left.
You don't know how many people that would bother, Nigel.
To death?
No, I told you. You move stuff just a few inches because they think it would be funny. Like, haha, we moved. But then they accidentally moved it, and the person always hits their alarm clock there. And they accidentally hit the picture frame this time, and it falls and slices them. That's a different movie. Okay. What my movie is.
I don't want to be in this podcast anymore.
What my movie is, there's this group of mobsters, but they're called the Klowns, and they go around, they like kill people, but then John Hamm has cancer, and he's like, I gotta not have cancer. So he goes to this experimental testing facility for cancer treatments, inadvertently turns him into a real-life clown. Then he's blood hungry. He turns all of his minions into clowns. They go out, kill other people to bring to John Hamm so he can eat them. This is a great movie. Boom. Sold.
So
You don't like that idea?
So, I think we should talk about the Let me I think you started too high. And like Icarus, I think you flew too close to the sun.
I think that's a good film.
Started off strong.
No, that's a good film.
And just over time.
I think those are all good ideas. I'm here if you ever want to contact me for my movie ideas.
I will leave your contact information in the show notes.
No, don't do that. I don't want anyone to know I exist.
Well, how are you going to get all this money to, like, make
I'll
these
give you
movies?
the ideas for free.
No, you have to charge people money for them.
But as long as Tom Hardy's in it, though. If it Tom Hardy not star, you pay me. Tom Hardy star, you don't have to pay me. I'm just trying to get the kid more acting gigs. I should be his agent.
The kid? He's like twice our age.
Tom Hardy, I'd be your agent. Contact me. I'll hook you up with some great movies that will not ruin your career. It won't.
From the producer of the podcast Bad Movie Date Night and the lyricist of La La Land.
Oh. Starring Tom Hardy, and Tom Hardy.
And John Hamm.
Oh.
That guy really is a madman.
Oh, boy.
Oh. Okay, but for real, let's talk about the most egregious part of this movie.
Okay.
All right. Terenzi brothers.
Yep.
Ice cream truck thrown across the room, blows up.
Blows up.
Deb and Mike get out of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Dave stays behind, murders Clownzilla in cold blood.
Yeah.
The spaceship.
In cold blood. I would not say in cold blood.
Okay, in like warm blood.
You had the right to kill him.
Dave kills him.
Uh-huh.
Spaceship starts spinning like a top in the air.
Yeah.
I don't know what Dave does, but that ship explodes.
Explodes.
With a capital EXOPLODE.
Yeah. It's
S.
gone.
Gonzo. What comes flying out of the sky? The clown car. Who comes out of the clown car? Dave. Okay. A little weird, but you know what? I'll buy it.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty believable that he could have maybe found a place to survive before the explosion.
Maybe.
That didn't also explode with the rest of the ship, question mark.
Right.
But who else pops out of the back of this thing?
And, like, it flies perfectly to meet the friends.
That also, didn't think about that till just now. Good point. Because the ship's over there.
Right, and it goes all the way around.
It comes all the way to where the friends are.
Yeah.
But the Terenzi brothers pop out.
Right.
And they say, "We saw you die. How did you survive?" And they're like, "We got inside the freezers." So apparently...
Freezers don't explode.
Apparently. Well, years later, that line of dialogue would influence Steven Spielberg in Indiana Jones and the King and the Crystal Skull.
Yeah?
Fact, fridges survive atomic bombs every day.
That's false. Yeah, I, like, could say, like, oh, maybe it's, like, a clown car, and we don't know, there's some type of alien magnitude that makes it, like, indestructible to explosions and can fly. But it has paper bowls covering it, so I'm gonna say it's perhaps not that impressive.
No. This movie was supposed to have an ending in which Dave and the Terenzi brothers died, but the studio said, no, you need a happier ending. So they had to reshoot it, which is why they survived in the end.
That
and it
makes
doesn't
sense.
make any sense.
No, but it makes sense.
Right. It does, but doesn't. And that's the end of the movie.
Yeah?
They saved the day from
We
the
don't
killer
know
clowns,
who-
while also killing half the town.
We don't know who What's-Her-Face ends up with.
No, yeah, because Dave is just straight up rubbing on her at the end.
But he was doing that, like, kind of throughout the movie. Like, I think they were dating at the time of this film. Because, like, he was all up on her for a majority of the movie. Just, like, randomly, he would, like, rub her shoulder like this or something. It's
Yeah.
like, guys,
There's-
you're filming a movie here. And, like, she's very much supposed to be with, what's-his-face?
Mike.
Very much, like, with Mike. And Dave is, like, all up on her. And, like, literally at the end, giving her a neck rub and kisses the back of her head.
Yeah.
And Dave's just sitting there like an idiot. Like,
Dave is...
"Du-du-du,
No,
du-du-du."
Mike is... Mike.
Oh, Mike.
Mike
yeah.
is completely oblivious that his girlfriend is cheating on him.
Oh, like, very openly.
Like, literally next
right
to
next
him.
to him.
That was weird. And that's probably why Mike ends up as a drunk in the sequel.
Right. And will Dave and What's-Her-Face last? No.
Probably... he might get shot in the line of duty.
Right. And also, she already left him once. She gonna probably do it again.
Yeah, because he's married to his job.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of answers our question of who's going to last. So we just have to figure out where this falls on the definitive bad movie date night ranking list.
I'm gonna put it under Terror Vision.
You're going to put it up that high?
Yeah.
Okay, every time I watch this movie, I realize how many more enjoyable bad movies there are. So I'm thinking like middle of the list, like after Deathstalker 2. Although I would be willing to put it between Troll 2 and The Dolls.
Let me think. What would I would rewatch. How did Deathstalker 2 fall so low? I would put Deathstalker 2 under Secret Obsession. I will put it. You said under Deathstalker 2?
Yeah.
All right, I'll put it there because I really like Deathstalker 2, and I don't know how it got so low. I don't like that placement for it.
Well, we just put
Too many other movies ahead of it.
literally the only movie that we put ahead of it is The Dolls.
I think I lost that battle when I said where it should have gone. I'd rewatch this movie before I would rewatch Secret Obsession.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right, that's what I'm saying. How did Secret Obsession get so high?
I don't know.
I don't think.
Clearly our list is broken. Except it's definitive, so it's not. Speaking of Deathstalker, you know who's in Deathstalker 2?
Who?
Or Deathstalker 3? John Allen Nelson, Mr. Dave himself. He is the Deathstalker in the third Deathstalker movie.
Is he really?
Yeah.
What?
He's also Rebecca's dad on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Oh, that's weird.
Let me see if I can find Death Stalker.
We didn't watch Death Stalker 3
No, we just watched Death Stalker 2.
because it has Mike in it.
Because it has Mike in it.
I love Mike.
It's directed by our favorite
I
bad
love
movie director.
Chopping Mall.
Death Stalker and the Warriors from Hell. And there are 0 pictures. So, guess we're going to just have to watch it.
Guess we'll just have to watch it.
All right, so what movie are we watching? Killer Klowns from Outer Space. It's going below Death Stalker 2, which is pushing Christmas Perfection down. Do you have any other last minute thoughts that you want to close us out with, Kaitlyn?
I'm pretty excited for next week. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, yeah. Next week's going to be good.
Yeah.
Next week, we're going to be watching Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Attack of the Killer
Another
Tomatoes.
movie that was purposefully made to be bad.
Attack of the Killer
but-
Tomatoes. Not the first one, was it?
Yeah. The first one is supposed to be a satire.
That's right.
But it kind of misses the mark.
Yeah.
We're going to be watching that with Bailey because we have a very exciting announcement with her, but we'll save that for next week. So, until then,
Until we meet again.
watch Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, the first one,
trails to
and get
you.
psyched for February, which is going to be a month of rom-coms and Valentine's related things.
Woo! Rom-coms.
Do you have anything else you want to toss out?
No? Happy trails.
As usual, you can like and subscribe to the podcast in your favorite app to listen to podcasts in. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Journey Into Film, or check out ajourneyintofilm.com for some really cool movie reviews and other related articles. There's a sweet top 10 list of movies to look forward to this year. And you can always catch other past episodes of Bad Movie Date Night and see the definitive Bad Movie Date Night ranking list on there. And that's all I have to say about that. So we'll see you next week.